I think I saw on yours, and the one that I think a lot of people want to know is how we met. That's the one that everybody I saw that quite a few times actually.
Okay.
How we met.
Yeah, you want to tell the story?
Yeah, I'll tell.
Go ahead then, man.
It was at a cafe. You know, we locked eyes. You know, I was ordering. I was ordering. You know, hazelnut. I think you just had hot chocolate.
Of course.
And you know, we locked eyes across the room. You know, he came over first. You know, he had a little bit of. He's like, hey man, you know, I do YouTube. I was like, oh, wow.
I started like that.
Oh wow. I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. And then we sat down, chopped it up, and then you know, the rest is history.
Now let me tell you the real story.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then you know, he asked for my number, so I was like, okay.
I almost definitely wouldn't give nobody my number off the rip. You know
I know, that's why you asked for mine. You didn't give me yours.
No. Well, I would have to text you with mine, so you would still end up with my number.
You had a fake number. You had a second number.
You had to work for my number. No cap. Like, I don't just hand out number. I hand out like social medias.
I'm literally saying that I didn't get your number. You asked for mine.
All right, stop lying. Let me tell the real story. So back in the day,
he's not going to tell the real story anyway. But go ahead, go. No, go ahead, go.
Because we know that was cap. I don't even drink hot chocolate. You know that has sugar.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, so I remember we was doing an AO podcast. It was like me, Waffle Man. There was a few other people I'm blanking. Man, I don't remember because we rotated so many groups of people. And so on this old podcast, we used to have guests on the show. Brutal was one of the guests, but he wasn't like a permanent member.
Josh was on there too.
Yeah. And so I remember on one of the podcasts, I was like, yo, we're looking for a guest. But then I didn't really know many people. So I was relying on like the people watching to be the guests.
Mm-hmm. And this was like 2015?
Yeah, something like that. Let me
a while ago.
Mute my Discord because Phantom's blowing me up right now. Crazy. I'm so popular.
Stop. Yeah, this is like 2014, 2015. It may have been 2014.
No, it was earlier than that, bro. It was like 2014, 13.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
So anyway, this podcast is going on. I see a tweet, and keep in mind, my Twitter was slow as shit. So if you sent me a tweet that day, I would see it for sure. And Lo sent me, I forgot what it was, but it was like this AO podcast with like, it had like a giraffe graphic or something like that.
It was a thumbnail.
Okay, and it was fucking creative. It was the most creative thing I seen in a minute. And so I was like, oh snap. So then I clicked on your page, and I think you had some videos live on your channel, just some shit you did like way back.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, so this guy kind of knows what he's talking about, and he's not like, we're not gonna have him on the podcast, he can have nothing to contribute, right?
Yeah.
So then you were guesting the podcast, and then back then I had no human skills, so no cap. I remember telling Waffleman and them this dude, I was like, I don't know how to tell this guy that he's not gonna come on for another podcast, but we already added you to the Skype chat, so we couldn't then get rid of you.
Facts.
So we just kind of kept you for another podcast, and then nobody wanted to tell you to go away, and you were kind of just coming back. So
that's not really the whole story, but whatever.
I'm telling you, that's the story. And then you just inevitably became a permanent member, and then we kind of all enjoyed it because you would talk. Because remember, Waffleman didn't talk in that podcast ever. We kind of like had to ask him questions for him to say something.
It was like the New York Knicks pundit. Yeah. Like the only time we talked about the Knicks is when Waffle would get excited, like, oh, wait, I know what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, so it was kind of nice to have you on because you would just talk and then we'd fill up the time. And it was a long part. It was like 2 hours, right?
Not all the time.
1 hour, 32 hours. Yeah. And then so we ended up in a Skype chat. We played like a whole lot of 2K and shit together. And then we developed our bond through our mutual interests, of course, because you were in uni. No, you were in college.
If I wasn't in uni at that time, I was definitely like about to hit into uni. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then I most definitely was. And then I didn't like. So we would just like every night we'd be on Skype chats talking shit about 2K or talking about videos. And it was like maybe 4 or 5 of us. And it was a relief for me because before that, like I didn't really talk to anybody at all on YouTube.
You were friendless.
All my friends actually that started YouTube in high school with me quit. So then I didn't have no one else to talk to YouTube about. And at least nobody that would understand, you know what I mean? You could talk to people about YouTube, but you know, they don't really understand where you're coming from. And so, yeah, long story short, we just kept talking and talking. I mean, we had our moments, but at the end of the day, I think we were able to work that out.
The reality is, I was carrying a podcast, so he had no other choice but to keep me, and so here we are right now.
First of all, the podcasts were horrible.
And I was carrying them. That's why they were terrible, because I had to come in. I was like, I got y'all.
All right, yeah.
I got y'all. I'll put
You
on
can
my
position
backpack.
it however you like. But...
I can put on my backpack and I'll carry. But yeah, more or less what he just said. Yeah, it was an inside joke about a giraffe, and then I was like, oh, what if I?
What was the inside joke? I forgot.
It had something to do with Josh, but I can't remember like what about what it was.
I wish my memory wasn't so bad. I feel like there's no point of living if you forget everything.
So what, you want to jump off a bridge right now? Like, what are you saying? Anyway, yeah, it was an inside joke about a giraffe, and then they needed a thumbnail, so I made a thumbnail.
Wow. So you started off as my graphic designer, and then you became a podcast guest, and then a member, and then a friend, and now we're best buds.
We're not best friends. I don't know
that shit is crazy. Now we're best buds.
I don't know
shit,
why
man.
you keep throwing that in there. But
that's wild.
We're definitely not best buds.
Best buds in this bitch, man.
But yeah, I was basically a supporter, a subscriber first, and then kind of just transitioned that to where I'm at right now.
Tough. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, man. Next question.